Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show, and welcome to Shipping Wars with Crazy New York Driver. I told you I was getting a big load of hubcaps in last week, and I've just been so busy I couldn't get this video up. I actually filmed the delivery last week, like I said I would. Today is Monday, the 10th of June. But the delivery came, I think, last Thursday. No, I'm sorry. It was last Wednesday. So I filmed part one last Wednesday. And that's how busy I am. I don't have the time to make videos that often. It's just crazy. I mean, yesterday was Sunday. I was out all day. I came home, checked out YouTube, and I seen, of course, the same old people can make 8 or 9 videos a day saying a big bunch of nothing. I don't know how they get the time, but man, I'd like to get some of that time. Anyway, let's discuss shipping wars with Crazy New York Driver. And let me explain how this works. Have you guys ever watched the TV show Shipping Wars on cable? I'm not sure what day of the week it comes on, but it's a very interesting show that I like a lot. It follows a group of maybe 5 or 6 independent shippers who bid for shipping contracts online. For instance, let's say somebody has a big statue they want to ship from New York City to California. All right? And they'll list the weight of the statue, the height of the statue. Well, these 4 or 5 shippers will look at the item, look at the destination, figure out how much they can charge and make a profit. So one guy might bid, let's just say, $3,000. And then there's someone else that will come in and bid maybe $2,900. And so on and so on. They'll outbid each other. And of course the guy who bids the least will get the job. Now, let me explain how it works here with me. When I ship here, I ship every day. I use UPS. UPS is good for regular size boxes. Like, see this box here? This is the biggest, probably one of the biggest boxes I would trust with UPS, because that's really what they're good for. Boxes that size. If I'm getting a big load of caps, and I get these periodically, what I like to do is I like to use a contract shipper, a common carrier, and they put everything on pallets. It's much, much cheaper, okay? And I'm going to explain to you exactly what happened to me, because this one was a first. The way it usually works is I will receive a call from a dealer or distributor. So let's say, for instance, San Diego Chevrolet calls me up and says, Joe, I have 1,000 hubcaps I want to sell in bulk. I'm asking X dollars. All right? If I decide to buy from him, he will work the shipping details out from San Diego Chevrolet. Okay? Now, of course, I pay for that. So let's just say, whatever it is, it's $600 from California here to the East Coast. He will handle everything. He will have an independent trucker go to his site, pick up the pallets, and truck them here. It's always been that way. The person doing the selling has to take care of the shipping. However, this one time, I actually ran into a seller who does not have the experience to take care of the shipping. What happened is, he wants to wholesale me a large amount of hubcaps. And that's fine, I want them. So I said to him, all right, what about the shipping? And he says to me, I use UPS. I said, well, that's not going to work for this amount. I said, this amount is way too big. He says, well, I could put them in a lot of boxes. Let's say each box is, for argument's sake, 4 feet high. I said, that's not going to work. I said, number one, they use those small trucks. It's not big enough. Number two, they're going to charge way too much. And of course, he insisted on getting a quote, and it came out to $45 per box. Out of the freaking question, I said to him. Not going to happen. He says to me, I'll ship any way you want if you handle it. You meaning me. So I said, sure, I'll do it. So I've used a bunch of different carriers in the past. One of them I contacted first was R&L. You may recognize that name. They have those green trucks, stripped down Max. So I contacted them and they gave me a price I thought was a little too much. So I'm shopping around and somebody suggested to me, they said, Joe, why don't you go on to uship.com and put your load out for bid, just like they do on TV, you know? So I said, well, that's not a bad idea. So I went to uship.com, and the way it works is first you have to register, and it's free. They don't charge you to register or to put, you know, a bid out for the truckers. However, at the end, if you do accept a bid from a trucker, you have to pay a $10 service fee to uship. And hey, I have no problem with that if I'm saving serious coin, which of course I did. So what you have to do is you have to describe your load. How many pallets? How much does each pallet weigh? The zip code of where the trucker has to pick the load up and the zip code of where he's delivering it. Do they need a lift gate? The lift gate is that hydraulic thing on the back of the truck that goes up and down for really heavy loads, for instance like a refrigerator. So you fill out the questionnaire and you type as much as you can about your load and you send your bid out. Then the way it works is truckers will either contact you or will even ask you a question, sort of like they do on eBay. Ask seller a question, and you have an option of giving a price you're looking to spend. Okay? Well, I'll tell you what the prices were just to give you a rough idea. I put my request out, and who comes back with the first bid but R&L Trucking wants $500. So I'm sure I can get it less than 500. So in my mind I'm thinking how much it will cost and all this. So I put out a request for a trucker to do my job for $275, okay? Now in the back of my head I'm willing to go a little more, okay? But I figure I'll do $275, let's see what happens. And I put this out on a Saturday, okay? That's what's amazing about it, on a Saturday. Within 1 hour I had my first bite. My first trucker asked me a question about the load. You know, I had originally specified that I wanted the hydraulic lift gate. But he said to me, he said, if you're willing to load and offload the truck by box, you know, hand the boxes up to the driver and take them down, that kind of thing. If you're willing to do that, he would honor my bid of $275 because he doesn't have a hydraulic lift gate on his trailer. So I said, okay. And we went back and forth about 6 or 7 times with more questions, clarifying things, this and that. Finally, we agreed to it. Okay? So you click commit, just like you do on eBay with a buy it now, commit to buy. You click accept the trucker's bid. At that point, you have to pay 10% immediately with your credit card to uship. They collect the first 10%. Okay? So I did that, and they also collect the $10, user fee. I did that, then they put me in direct contact with the trucker who accepted the load, or was going to accept the load. And I go back and forth with him, and you pay him online by credit card, with your company credit card, and then you arrange it. So as you know, this was right around Memorial Day, so we lost a couple of days with the holiday, but there were a few snags, okay? He promised to pick the load up on a certain day, and I believe it was a Wednesday. He was going to pick the load up down south on Wednesday, and he picked it up. But what happens is a lot of these truckers are brokers for freight. They're freight brokers, meaning they accept the deal and then they farm it out for a lesser price to somebody in their area who has a half-empty trailer or half-empty truck. And that's what this guy did in this case. He farmed it out to one of his companies that takes these half-truck loads. So they picked the load up when they were supposed to, no problem. And they give you a BOL tracking number, a bill of lading tracking number, where you can track the progress of the actual truck and find out where the trailer is at any given time, what depot he's in, going across country. And it's really convenient and it's really good. So I kept tracking it, and they give you an estimated day of delivery. So the first time they gave me an estimated date was going to be a Monday. All right? So I started planning around it. And then I checked again, and they switched the estimated date to a Tuesday. All right, no problem. I could accept that. So on Monday, I'm busy getting everything ready for Tuesday to accept the load. All right? So Tuesday comes, and I check it, and it says out for delivery. What happens is they use an over-the-road trucker from down south to drive a trailer all the way up, and he went to, I think, Newark, New Jersey. He drops the trailer, and they offload it. Then, unbeknownst to me, they load it into a smaller straight job, which you'll be seeing shortly, and then they go to where they're going to bring the majority of their goods. So they said it was out for delivery Tuesday, and that's great. It even pinpointed the time by 3 o'clock. So I had people here ready to help me. So 3 o'clock comes, and there's no trucker. So I get a little bit concerned. So I contacted the trucking company by email, and they got back to me really quick, within maybe 10 minutes, and they said, we're sorry. The trailer broke down. At this point, I think they were still going to bring a trailer up here. The trailer broke down. They said, we're having problems. We can't do it today. We're going to reschedule it tomorrow. I said, hey, I don't mind waiting another day. But, you don't tell me anything. I'm sitting here with my, So I had to reschedule everything for the next day, which was Wednesday. Wednesday comes. It gets to be 3 o'clock. Still no truck. By this time, the guy who actually brokered the deal, the guy who I met on UShip, has been going back and forth with me, keeping me in contact, because he realized that there was a problem. Apparently somebody notified him. I don't know, the trucking company, or if he gets my emails as a carbon copy, but he was telling me that they're having a problem with the truck. They're still going to try and get here. So I really didn't think it was going to come, because 3 o'clock came and went on Wednesday. But what happens? He rolls up at around 3:30, quarter to 4, in a straight job. That's really surprised me. And I wasn't surprised the guy was late. They gave this guy a real beater of a truck. The transmission was slipping. I could smell it. I could smell the clutch burning. You know that smell from burnt fluid? I could smell it. He couldn't even get it into first gear. It wouldn't move. And it was leaking transmission fluid. So it was an interesting situation. Then when we went to offload the truck, as you will see, a lot of the boxes were ripped apart from where they fell off these skids. And the boxes are really in bad shape. Now, whose fault is that? And I'm going to tell you right to your face, because I know about this stuff. I have to blame the shipper for a good amount of this, because he didn't use the good cardboard. Like, this is the quality cardboard I get from Uline. That's good quality. He used that cheap Taiwan crap cardboard. You know people who sell those cheap Taiwan hubcaps that I despise so much? Well, apparently he deals in them, so he reboxed my factory stuff in these cheap Taiwan boxes. They can't hold up, and they fell off the skids and they got ripped up. But there was no damage to any of the merchandise, so I didn't make a big deal over it, because the bottom line is I saved some good coin, and I'm happy. All right, there was a few setbacks. The truck was a day late. They gave the guy a beater. He was late getting here. The boxes were mishandled to a point. It's the cost of doing business, okay? Now, they also have a feature on uship.com where you give each other feedback, just like on eBay. And you have to click, like, did the shipment arrive on time? Was everything okay? And I gave the guy all positive feedback because, you know, he's trying to make a living too. And I hate to neg anybody, even on eBay, and I hate to neg anybody in real life. I mean, I saved money. I'm happy. I got my hubcaps. They're here. Nothing got broken. All right? Would I use U-Ship again? Hell yeah. All right? And next time I do, I'll make a video of it. So what we'll do now is we're going to go take a look at the load. All right. Okay guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show, showing you why you always want to buy in bulk. You save money on shipping and on time. All right guys, this is the load of boxes we got. As you can see, they didn't fare too well. Maybe one curve too many. This kind of cardboard is really not recommended for shipping heavy weights. This is the kind of cardboard that generic items come in. But although everything in here is going to be factory, this will hold me over for about a month. Okay? What happened? Wait, let me get that on video.